There's a strange quiet after the discard. At first, it feels unbearable, like your whole world collapsed. But then, something shifts. You start sleeping again. You breathe a little deeper. You begin to feel like yourself, even if just for a moment. And that's when it happens. The message. The call. The "I've been thinking about you." It catches you off guard, not because you didn't expect it, but because part of you wanted to believe maybe they changed. That's not weakness. That's hope, the same hope they built their control on. A hoover isn't about love. It's about access. When a narcissist hoovers, they're not missing you, they're missing control over you. They remember how you made them feel powerful, adored, relevant. You became their emotional mirror, and when you walked away, that reflection disappeared. So they circled back, not because they see your worth now, but because they can't stand losing the power they had when you believed in their version of love. That's the real purpose behind the "I miss you" texts, the nostalgic messages, the sudden apologies that sound mature but feel hollow. They're not reaching out to reconnect. They're reaching out to reinstall the control you started to take back. Underneath the charm and manipulation lies something deeper, a fractured sense of self. Narcissists are driven by narcissistic supply, the emotional energy they extract from others to stabilize their fragile ego. When that supply disappears, it creates what psychologists call a narcissistic injury. That injury feels like emotional withdrawal. It's not heartbreak. It's dependency. You walking away doesn't just bruise their pride, it threatens their identity. Because to them, control equals existence. If they can make you respond, even negatively, they still matter. That's why silence is their worst nightmare, and your greatest power. Not every hoover looks like a romantic apology. Some are disguised. Here are the most common. 1. The nostalgia hoover, remember when we used to. They use memories to pull your emotions back online. 2. The crisis hoover, I'm not doing well. I need you. It plays on your empathy, your soft spot. 3. The fake accountability hoover, I've changed. Or I realize what I did wrong. They might even go to therapy, but only long enough to convince you they're trying. 4. The anger hoover, they provoke you just to get a reaction. It's not about reconciliation. It's about pulling you back into chaos. 5. The indirect hoover, they watch your stories, like your posts, or ask mutual friends about you. They're testing if the door's still open. Each one is bait, and every response feeds the cycle. You know what they're doing. You've read about it, seen the patterns. So why does it still hurt? Why does a simple text make your chest tighten? Because hoovering doesn't just target your logic, it targets your nervous system. Your brain still associates their attention with safety, even if that safety was chaos. That's what trauma bonding does, it wires you to crave the very thing that harms you, just to escape the pain of withdrawal. So when they come back, it's not about missing them, it's your body remembering the high. And healing means retraining your system to recognize peace, not panic, as love. The most powerful response to a hoover is no reaction. Not because you're cold, but because you finally understand the game. You don't need to block out of spite, you do it out of self-respect. Every time you choose silence, you're telling your nervous system, I'm safe now. I don't have to chase danger to feel loved. That's what real healing sounds like: quiet, steady, consistent peace. And here's what most people don't tell you: the urge to respond will fade. The confusion will fade. Even the ache to be understood by them, that too will fade. You will realize that closure doesn't come from them returning. It comes from you not needing them to. They don't come back because they love you. They come back because they can't love anyone, not even themselves, without an audience. You were that audience once. But now you're the author. And every time you choose distance over drama, you rewrite the story that once defined your pain. So if they come back again, remember, it's not a sign of love. It's a sign of fear. Fear that you finally realize you don't need them anymore. That's the moment you win. You don't owe them access to the healed version of you. You owe that peace to yourself. And if you're still breaking free from their cycles, you're not weak, you're just detoxing from manipulation that once felt like home. You're learning what safety actually feels like. And this time, it's real. Subscribe for more videos that help you understand their psychology. And come home to yourself again.